This is my 2011 BMW X5, and it used to be $70,000 when it was new. To my surprise, I was able to buy this car for only $2,000. And of course, there is something wrong with it, but look at the car itself. It's dirty, but it's in one piece. For only $2,000, I think this is a really good car. And the plan for this car is to fix it up and have it as a tow car and off-road car in case we need it. So this one is not for sale. I'm gonna try and fix it and use it as a workhorse. Now let me show you around the car. If you look from the front, you can see there are some things missing, like that cover there. It might still be in the car. The grille has some missing bits on the edges, but I think that's normal. Those holes in the grille. Dirty, but the color I like. If you look at the headlights, they're very faded, but we can fix this. Now these are 20-inch wheels specific for the M Sport package, and I really like them. We have to refurbish them a little bit because if you see here, there's some corrosion going on and the clear coat is peeling, so they need to be completely refurbished. But the paint looks alright. I mean, there's scratches and stuff. This stuff here is gonna polish out for sure. It's not that bad. Right here, you can see that this is a 35i, which means it has the N55 engine. And I've been looking for a while to get a car with the N55 engine because I had the X3 and I towed a few cars with that X3 and it had the same N55 engine. And I was really happy with how that car was able to tow another almost 2-ton car. Like it didn't even have any weight in the back. And the X5 should be a little bit better than that because it's more wide and it's more stable on the road. And I think this is gonna feel amazing once it's done. It's gonna be very capable when it comes to towing. And that's the reason why I bought this car. Now another thing I really like is that it has the black shadow, so this doesn't have to be wrapped in any wrap. It's already black from the factory. It has this big mirrors, truck-like mirrors, so you can see everything behind you. Then it has the keyless entry, which is nice. It has this ribbon here, so that means the option is fitted. It's very straight. I like it. The rear wheel also needs some refurbishment because of the curb rash, but nothing to be worried. It's just a little bit. And I look forward to refurbishing these wheels because they're gonna look amazing once they're done. In the back, as you see here, nothing really out of place. The good part is that this car has a split tailgate. Now the battery is completely dead, so I cannot open the tailgate, but I'll show you that later. It looks more like an M car, not just an M Sport car. And with the dual exhaust, I think this looks really good. Even though it's 2011, I really like the look of this car. Look at these wheel arches. This is only specific to the M Sport package. And I really like how they sit and their body color, not like the regular ones that are like dark plastic. And again, if you look on this side, nothing big to worry me, like no big scratches or dents or nothing like that. When you look at the brakes, it does have a little bit of a lip. I think it's still gonna go for a while with those brakes. We'll check them once the car can drive. On the inside, it's black leather and also the M Sport package, because it's full M Sport, so it would have the M Sport seats, the M Sport steering wheel, and I think the door seals, and it has a dark headliner as well, which I like a lot. I really like how this is kind of simple, old style, integrated with a little bit of modern, like it has the same iDrive as the 7 Series does, the same gearbox. It does have hill descent option, so that means it's gonna be a lot better off-road than a regular sedan. Plus it's a high suspension, so that's gonna help. And this is basically the same as you see in pretty much any BMWs from this era. It has the heated seats and AC. That's pretty much it. You have dual zone. Now, it does not have a special sound system or anything like that. It's just the basic one, but I'm sure it's gonna sound okay. And if it doesn't, then we get to upgrade the sound system as well. It has the big moonroof, which I really like. It just makes the interior a lot better. The driver's seat looks very good, and it has memory on the seats. And as you can see here, somebody did try to repair this before, and yeah, it came off a little bit, but that's okay. This is just gonna be an workhorse, so I'm not going for perfection. It's very dirty, and it will be very satisfying to see this car cleaned up. In the back, you also have the curtains, which are manual. They're not electric like the 7 Series has, but I think it fits this SUV more. And in the back seats, as you can see, they look good. No wear, no tear. It looks quite good. One other thing I really like about this is that it does not have the 7-seat option. I would not like to get a 7-seat option for this car. I prefer it to be just the 5 seats because it's an extra feature that I really don't need. And judging by the panels you have here, you can pretty much tell that there is something wrong with the engine. So let me show you the engine. This is the N55 engine that everybody knows. It's an inline turbo 6 engine that produces about 320 horsepower. And this one doesn't produce any of that right now because it's completely seized. Now, I don't know how much of a problem this is and if we need to remove the engine or not. I would like to remove it and rebuild it. But first of all, I would try to fix it on the car and see if I can get it running and take it from there. Maybe it's not required for me to remove the whole thing because I had an X3 before with the same engine, and again it was seized, and I was very lucky that only one of the bearings got seized to the back of the engine, and by googling I saw that that's very common for the N55. And I only cleaned the crankshaft a little bit on that journal, changed all the bearings and put it all back together, and the engine was working just fine. So I'm hoping that I could get lucky with this one as well, but you never know. If it's more than that, we would have to remove the engine, possibly change the crank if it's damaged, and maybe even the rods. But keep in mind, this is an N55 engine, so it goes into a lot of cars, and it's really good to know how to fix this one. So I'm really looking forward to work on this and see what's gonna happen. A lot of the parts were already removed, and judging by the state of the mold there, this car was sitting for quite a bit. And yes, this looks awful, but we will clean all of this up. And you know by now that this is not gonna stay like this. It's just gonna get properly rebuilt, and then we're gonna clean all of this up and it's gonna look like new again, hopefully. Let's take the spark plugs out and have a look inside of the cylinders and see if they're in good shape.
That's a lot of mold.
A lot. You look on the other one on the floor there.
I had no idea she was hiding so much life.
And yet she's dead.
Yes.
Come on.
But, oh wow. Did you see that? It's right
Yeah,
up there.
you just broke it.
I don't know.
Yes, I did.
Oh no.
The plastic is so
Oh,
cooked.
brittle. Oh, wow.
It's not even plastic
It's
anymore.
like a cookie. That's how a cookie crumbles.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's just very bad news. Very bad news. This one looks good. This one also looks good. Alright, so let's have a look at what's going on in here. Okay, now this is cylinder number 6. It did have water on the spark plug socket, so as soon as I removed the spark plug, some of the water fell in there. But by the looks of it, it wasn't just there. There's a little bit of a surface rust, but not really that bad. This can be cleaned up quite easily. This one also looks okay. I mean, it's a lot of carbon in there, but that's nothing to really worry about. The cylinder walls look really good. Look at that cross hatching, still very visible. And this one we can't see much because it's too high up. The piston is too high up, so you cannot see anything basically. This one the same. Okay. This one also looks good. And this one, the first cylinder, the spark plug was damaged, so I'm expecting really serious damage in here. Let's see how it looks inside. Wow. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Man, I have never seen anything like this before. I don't know if you can understand what you're looking at, but basically that's the connecting rod and the pin. The piston is completely gone. And look at the marks on the sidewall and a lot of... Wow. It looks like the piston itself exploded. I have never seen anything like this before. That's a lot of piston bits, but no big bits of piston anywhere. Wow, it just exploded the freaking piston out. There's just like deep marks into the cylinder wall, so the block is probably completely gone. Only sleeved at this point might work, but I really don't like that option. Wow, I was not expecting this. Look at the marks on the head as well. I mean, I cannot tell for sure, but yeah, most definitely the head has been crashed into multiple times. Wow. The carnage. Look at the little bits stuck to the sidewall. Like, that's impressive. How that happened, I don't understand. Oh my god. This is a completely dead engine at this point. There is no saving this one. There is absolutely no saving this one. Look at that. Connecting rod bent as well. Like, really bad. Can we see some piston part? Yeah, look at that. Wow. There's just lots of piston bits everywhere. Yeah, I have to be honest, I was not expecting this. Look at that. There's a crack in there. What is that? Is that the oil pump? Could be. If it's the oil pump, that's gone. It's definitely chewed through. And I still can't find most of the piston. Like, where did that go? Look how big of a chunk is missing out there. Anyway, at this point, there's no point in going under the car and removing the oil pan or anything like that. The whole thing needs to be removed. Right, so there is no saving this engine. It's definitely completely gone. The head is damaged, the block is damaged, the oil pump is damaged, and also I think the crankshaft is gone as well. I think there's just some parts that you can reuse from this engine, but the internals of this engine are completely gone. So in order to fix this car, we're gonna need another engine. And we're still gonna take this one out and take it apart to see exactly what happened. Maybe we can understand how could this happen. But I really need a second engine here, right? It's not going to go anywhere until I find a donor engine. And again, I'm going to look for something cheap, something that needs to be rebuilt so we can rebuild it fully. I really want to rebuild an N55, and it was a while since I've been thinking about rebuilding one of these, and I guess this is my chance to do it. This is the donor engine that I found, and you probably saw this engine in a few previous videos just sitting here waiting. I found it for a really good deal and I couldn't resist it, and I bought it. It was only $500 and it's supposed to have only 80,000 miles on it. The only issue with this engine is that it has a cracked oil pan because it comes from a crashed damaged car, and the owner thought that this is not worth much because of that. Well, to me it's worth a lot more because I'm not gonna use the oil pan anyway because it comes from a two-wheel drive car, and for the X5 we need a 4x4 system, so that means the oil pan needs to be different. And if this engine is actually 80,000 miles, then this would have been the best deal ever because they go for about $3,000 in this condition. You know me, so I'm not gonna leave this as is. We're gonna take out the oil pan, we're gonna probably change the bearings while we have the engine out, and yeah, little bits here and there just to make sure. Of course, the timing chain is gonna get serviced, It's easier to do it on an engine stand than inside of the car, so I'm gonna do the main things with this engine before it gets installed. But before we can tackle this problem here, we have to remove the engine from the car and take that one apart to see what actually happened. Hopefully we can see the damage. The way I usually remove engines is by leaving the gearbox in there and removing the engine from the top. Because I don't have a lift, I can do this a lot easier this way. By the book, you have to lift the car and drop the subframe and the engine with the gearbox all together, and it's probably a lot easier to do it that way. But since I never had a lift, the only way I learned is to pull them from the top. So in order to do that, I have to disconnect everything around the engine that's connected to the body, like all the hoses, all the wiring, you know, everything that has any connection to the body. We will leave the engine mounts in place, the gearbox bell housing still in place, and everything else needs to be disconnected. And the last thing we're gonna do is disconnect the gearbox and then undo the engine mounts. It might seem like a scary process, but it's actually not that difficult. There are not that many things to take apart. I hope that I can leave some of this stuff here. For example, the AC compressor with the lines. Maybe I can just disconnect the compressor and move it to the side, and this way we don't discharge the AC lines. The radiators will stay in place. I'm just gonna remove the radiator fan, and I think that should give us enough room. And if I remove those braces there too, we can just pull it out straight. So let's go ahead and start the disassembly process. Now the best thing to do is to disconnect everything you can from the top before you lift the car, because in this case it's a 4x4, so it would be really high up and difficult to reach inside of the engine bay if I lift the car up right now. So I have to disconnect everything I can on the top, then lift the car up, take out the wheels, disconnect the suspension, and then we can remove the drive shafts, so this way the engine with the differential will come out together. Because the differential on these cars goes through the oil pan, so it's easier to just leave it on the oil pan and remove the engine with it. But we do have to remove the wheels so we can disconnect the drive shafts. So let's start and disconnect everything we can from the top. This is why some people say that these cars are too complicated to work on. In order to remove the alternator, I had to remove the oil filter housing that was on top of it, and in order to remove that, I had to remove the intake. And in order to remove the intake, you had to remove a lot of the stuff around it, plus the ECU and some cables and like some vacuum lines. So it's like 3-4 parts before you can get to a part, and it wasn't very difficult to reach the bolts, but it wouldn't slide out because it has to slide up a little bit, and then the oil filter housing was in the way, so it couldn't slide out enough to pull it out. And then this bolt for the oil filter housing was covered by the intake, and so you see how that goes. You have to take all of these parts in order to change the alternator. But that's okay, because I needed to remove all of these parts anyway. Now we have the engine removed and it can be stripped apart. And let me show you how the engine bay looks. It is very, very dirty, but we will take care of it. We will clean this up really well before the new engine goes in. It's not nice, but it's gonna be. As you can see, the torque converter is not there because the engine wouldn't turn, so I had to remove the engine with the torque converter on. Now I would like to remove this now, but I can't remove it unless I'm able to turn the engine. So what I did instead is attach it from the side. This is an engine mount point, so in some ways it's better to attach it from the side like this, because you have access to the back, you have access to the front. There's metal in the intake on that cylinder that exploded, so I'm really curious to see how it looks inside. I'm sure you are curious as well, and let's start taking it apart. Okay, so we're gonna start with removing the wiring harness because this is the most messy thing on here. On this side I only have knock sensors to remove and it should be free. The wiring harness is out. This engine was neglected. I mean, it's already obvious, but even with this much neglect, the camshafts look okay. I'm not seeing any significant wear, but there's big deposits on these springs, so that's definitely from not changing the oil in time. Surprisingly, the timing seems tight. I'm surprised to see the timing guides in one piece. It's 120,000 miles and they're still in one piece. They are worn a little bit, but not too crazy. This piston is a little bit rusty. This one also. This one is very clean. And I'm guessing these two had water on the spark plug hole, and when the spark plug was removed, water got in there and rusted them a little bit. But look how clean these ones are. I mean, heavy carbon deposits, but the walls are mirror. And then you get to the first one. Yeah. The piston is gone. It disappeared. This is definitely gone. There's a huge gouge in the piston. There's a huge gouge in the cylinder wall. And here too. Here as well, and here, like 4 corners. So it looks like the piston broke from the middle and just folded like this, and it scraped so much. I don't know, it's weird. I think water, maybe it sucked in some water, or fuel, because the connecting rod is so bent. I don't think that this would have happened unless it was trying to compress a liquid that's not compressible. Anyway, let's tear this thing apart and find the missing piston. I really want to see the piston. So in this situation we have to flip the engine and remove the oil pan. Look at this, full of metal. I need to clean this up, and I'm gonna need to reuse this if it's not damaged, but it doesn't look like it's damaged. Look at this piston. Look at these bits. Come on. They are mangled. I'd be surprised if the oil pump survived. Wow. Well, I found a retaining clip, which is good in one piece. We're definitely not going to use anything from inside of the engine because look at this stuff. Like, come on. Have you seen anything worse than this? There's a bit of a ring right there. Wow. Yeah, no. The oil pump did not survive. Look at this hole here. And these. They're already through. So yeah. Completely gone oil pump. Surface doesn't seem to be very bad, but where is the bearing? Uh-huh. That's 1/2 of one bearing, so I don't understand this. This means that the bearing spun, and it did spin for a while to get it to this level. And it started knocking, and it was knocking for quite a bit. So the engine was knocking when it decided to go kaboom. Yeah. Look at how thin they are. The engine was knocking for quite a bit of time. Whoever drove the car didn't care that the engine was knocking and just drove it like that until everything exploded. What I think happened here is that the bearings spun in the first place and the engine was knocking, and then when these became thin enough, they switched like this, one on top of each other, and it made this portion thicker than it needed to be, and when it got up, it pushed into the head and started bending it a little bit, or cracked the piston. And when that happened, then the piston started moving sideways, and this started to hit a little bit more and bent even further. From what I can see here, this is what happened. Because you cannot get this thin of a bearing. If the piston exploded, the bearing would have been fine. This is thin like this because the engine ran with a knocking rod for a long time. It basically knocked this into a thin piece of metal. So whoever had this car before ignored the engine knock and drove it like that until it completely exploded. And that's my theory. Anyway, at this point we cannot use anything that's in here. The only thing that I will want to use is the torque converter. I have to disconnect it, and then I might get this carrier from here because it might be different for the X5, and then we'll bring in the donor engine and open that up a little bit because I want to change the bearings, change the timing, seal all the gaskets and make sure that it's a ready to go engine. So we're gonna do a light rebuild on it. I'm not gonna remove the head if it's not necessary. So we'll have a look on it and see how that one looks. So let's move this one aside and bring the other one in. This is the donor engine for the X5. Now this engine came from a 3 Series convertible, but it doesn't matter. There are only a few things that are different, and we're gonna use the X5's parts on it and it's gonna work. Now this one supposedly was running well, everything was fine, and it only had 80,000 miles on it. So it should be a really good engine. Now the good part to this is that it had a front end collision, and it cracked the oil pan, and that's why this was sold for only $500. a bargain in my opinion, because these sell for about $3,000 if they're under 100,000 miles. So I'm gonna open it. So I think this is an amazing deal. I'm gonna open up the engine to service it, but I'm not gonna rebuild the whole thing. We're gonna remove the valve cover, we're gonna have a look inside, then we're gonna do the timing. Since the engine is out, it's gonna be a lot easier to do. The oil pan needs to be replaced with the one from the X5 because the 4x4 system runs through the oil pan. And while we're in there, I'm gonna change the bearings just to make sure that that's all sorted. And this oil filter housing needs to be replaced as well because the one on the X5 has a cooler to it. And I think these are different as well. So I'm gonna have to look that up and see what I need to change. The bracket for the AC compressor might be different. I'm not sure about the pulley, but if it needs to be replaced, we will. And yeah, I gotta clean all of this up before we are installing it. So we're gonna have to remove all the wiring as well, because the wiring is for the 3 Series. Some of it might fit, but just to make it easy for me, I'm just gonna remove everything and I'm gonna use the wiring I removed from the X5. This way I don't get things confused. I've already endoscoped the cylinders when I purchased it and everything looks good in there. All 6 cylinders look alright, so I don't see any reason to remove the head and do a full rebuild on it. And I want this car on the road as quickly as possible because this is going to be my towing vehicle. I'm going to use it to bring other broken cars in here, so I really need it on the road as quickly as possible. Let's start tearing it apart. Yes, that looks very good. Very good. This does look like a well-serviced engine. So definitely no need for me to go too far and rebuild this thing because it looks amazingly clean. Look at these springs, they don't have any buildup on them like the other ones. Plus the colors of all the metals are not yellow, which means this had regular oil changes. And I'm really happy to see this, because this is the engine that's gonna go into the X5 and I really like how it looks. I might have been lucky with this one. It looks very good. I like how there's no deposits on this. It makes me happy. This is gonna be a good engine. Now here you can see where the damage was. It was hit in this side, and when this twisted, it cracked the oil pan. And that's why this entire engine was sold for cheap. And for me, this oil pan would be useless even if it wasn't cracked, because I have to run the other oil pan for the 4x4 system. So No actual problem for me. I just gotta get it out of the way. It actually cracked the engine mount as well, but it's okay because we're not using this one. As long as the block is fine and it's not cracked in any way, then we are good to go, and it seems like it's all in one piece. Let's remove this oil pan. Look at that. It's not even that bad. We're gonna remove the two middle ones and check the bearings, and if they need replacing, I will replace all of them. I'm just gonna do two at a time and see how it goes. This doesn't look very bad, but the cap usually looks the best. We'll see on the connecting rod. This is definitely a lot more worn because when the explosion happens, this is where it pushes. So definitely good to change them. Again, similar, not much wear on this one. Definitely more than the cap. Now this is the difference between the new and the used ones. Okay. Here you have to be careful not to scratch the journal, so slow and steady. Okay, now they're both in there. Now we're gonna use plastic gauge, and for BMW it's the green one. So the spec is 20 Newton meters and 70 degrees of rotation. Yep, that's perfect on the 002, which is what this needs to be, between 15 and 02. Now the oil pump has to be removed so we can get to the first piston. These three bolts here, the main bolt for the sprocket, and there's two little bolts here. And now you should be able to slide this out without any problems. Because this should stay behind. The sprocket Yep. And now the oil pump can come out. Now we have access to the 1 and 6. Now we have all the bearings replaced and I feel a lot better about that. Now we need to do the timing and also the oil pump chain before I can start putting it all back together. And the problem with that is I have to undo the main bolt from the front, and I have to find a way to lock the flywheel in place without having the gearbox bell housing, and that's what helps you to lock it in place with that special tool. So now I have to find another way to lock this in place so I can undo this crazy bolt here. I've done it before using the crane and kind of support the front end of the engine and preventing it from slipping or turning. So it's gonna be a little bit sketchy, but I have to do it. I have to change the timing. It's only 80,000 miles and it looks good. It looks very good. It's all in one piece, but I looked at some of the stamps and it's from 2011, so that definitely needs to be changed. I will not leave it as is because the plastic, it's old. That's almost 15 years old, so I'm not gonna trust it that it will last. Everything looks like it has no wear at all. Like the sprockets look good, the chain looks good, everything looks amazingly good. But the plastic, it can be brittle, and even though it might probably last for another 20,000 miles or 30,000 miles or even 40,000 miles, since I have another timing kit, I'd rather do it now and just have peace of mind that it's done. You can tell that this is 2011. Surprising that this is still in one piece. Not even the small bits here. They're still kinda elastic. Some of the N55 engines have a plastic cap here because they have a tensioner for this as well. But with the newer generation, they decided to go with a different type of tensioner here. So there's no longer one of these caps. When you're doing the timing, it's a good idea to change the front main seal as well. And I have one. I'm gonna replace it. There's some oil around here and I'm sure this was probably leaking. Since I have it all opened up and I think I'm just gonna do some cleaning. I'm gonna use some brake cleaner to try and clean the inside a little bit. Let it drain all the way down. Do some cleaning on the outside here as well. Like make sure that everything drains out of it. I'm not gonna go too crazy with the cleaning, just you know, get rid of all of this stuff and all of this stuff. Make it look a little bit nicer. So let's do that. The engine is a lot cleaner, but it's nowhere near perfect. And this is some type of corrosion that won't come out no matter how much you try. And I don't want to go too crazy on it because I don't want stuff to get inside of the engine. So I cleaned it as best as I could just to, you know, feel good about it. But it's not gonna be perfect. It is definitely a lot cleaner than it was. If you look in front of the engine, there's no more oil leaks and stuff. There's still some stains, but that's alright. On this side as well, a lot cleaner. I cleaned everything around here. All the connectors, the engine block. I cleaned here. I've also cleaned the top portion with brake cleaner. I turned the engine upside down, sprayed it with brake cleaner, and all of the dirty stuff fell right down. Plus I then used fogging oil to cover everything back up in oil like it should be. Now I've cleaned all of this area as well, so now the timing can go in, and we're ready to reassemble. This is the front main seal, and as you can see, it's the one that has a spring inside compared to this one that has nothing. I think this is going to be a lot better. Yeah, it's going in good. Now here we have the new timing components, and we have to assemble it all before we go in. Now the oil pump can go back in. This crankshaft bolt needs to be tightened to 100 Newton meters and then 270 degrees of rotation. But for now we're only going to do 100 Newton meters, and it's enough to hold the timing in place. And then once the engine is back in the car, we can do the 270, because I already had some trouble removing it and I don't want to break anything by trying to do the 270 angle on the stand. So we'll do 100 Newton meters. Now we need to install the pins for the guides, and then we need to install the tensioner and tighten these bolts, the pins and the pin covers. And then I'm gonna also tighten this to spec, and the oil pump to spec, and the timing should be done. Now this plate has the pins here. It will go into this, and it doesn't matter what this sprocket position is, as long as this is timed correctly, because the sensor reads these gaps, right? So as long as you time this correctly to the camshaft, it will be in time. Okay, now we have the engine completely assembled, and it's ready to go in. I've also cleaned the engine bay and got it ready. So now we just have to crane this up and install it. I mean, the wiring isn't that bad on this engine. I mean, there is a mess here, but it will make sense once the engine is inside. I'm gonna leave the intake for when the engine is in there, the oil filter housing, this compressor, and the steering pump as well. We have all the hoses and stuff installed in here, wiring done. I don't know for sure where this one goes, but I'm gonna find out, I'm sure. The engine is back in, and I've connected a few things as well, like the AC compressor and the power steering, and that engine mount, because when you remove the engine you have to remove that too. So that's back in. Both engine mounts are connected. I've also connected the bell housing bolts all around, and also the flywheel bolts to the torque converter. and I connected the drive shaft for the four-wheel system. The exhaust is connected, and there's a lot of stuff that needs to be connected here still, like the intake, but before the intake, the starter, and all of this wiring, some vacuum hoses. Like, there's still a lot to do up here, but I'm gonna leave it as is on the top for now because I want to connect the wheels back together. So I want to put the drive shaft through, connect the suspension, and then put the wheels back on so that I can lower the car from the jack stands, because this is way too high and very uncomfortable to work in the engine bay like it is. So because this is a big car, it would be better for it to be on the ground. Okay, so we got the car back on its wheels. I got all the suspension installed on both sides. I've got the wheels back in place. I've also torqued the main bolt. I locked the flywheel and torqued it all the way to spec. So now it's time to assemble all of this. The intake, the radiator fan, the oil cooler and oil filter housing, you know, put some oil in it and prime it. So all of this wiring is still to do, but we are getting closer. It's gonna be a few more hours of work and I think we can turn the key. I think we are ready to drop in some oil, drop in an oil filter, prime it, and go put the spark plugs in. This is exciting. I cannot wait to hear this thing run. I hope it's gonna run good. I've already cleaned everything inside here, inside of the filter housing. I just need to drop in the oil filter. The battery is completely dead, so I'm gonna try and prime the engine with the starter, and then I'm gonna replace the battery. I have another battery to put in, but for now, let's see. Let's prime it, and hopefully everything is in the right place. I'm a little bit nervous, but I hope everything will run. Now, the moment of truth, I'm gonna go ahead and try to start it. So, let's see how it goes. It has a new battery, so we don't need this anymore. So this is why the engine will not run. Immobilizer, protection against tempering, and then we also have electronic immobilizer protection against tampering, engine running blocked by electronic. So the car will not start because of the immobilizer. And the story goes like this. The person that had the car before me had purchased this car from Copart and it had no key. And on the Copart listing it was listed as a non-runner and with no key. And probably he hoped that it's because of the key it's not a non-runner car. So he purchased the car, then he had somebody come over to program a key and then realized that the engine is not turning. And so at that point he decided to sell the car and I bought it. When the guy was programming the key for the car, I'm assuming that at the end of the procedure, the system asked him to start the car to finalize the procedure. But because the engine was completely dead, they couldn't do that, so the key didn't get programmed all the way. So now I'm kind of stuck. I don't know how to do any of that. I don't have the tools to do that. So I have to find a way to get in touch with this person and hopefully get him out here to finalize the programming of the key. And I think the engine is going to run really well. I just don't know. I just think it's going to run well because of the way it looked inside, because of everything that was replaced, and I don't think there will be any issues with the engine. We still have to see it run, but I'm hopeful that everything is good, and I'm happy that the engine is back in and now it's just a coding issue. So I went back to the conversation I had with the previous owner and I remembered he told me about the problem with the key and also gave me the details of the person that coded the key. And so I gave him a call and he came over, very happy to help, and this is what happened.
So everything is fine, thanks God.
Yeah?
Everything is fine, and we read it ISN. So
I can install it.
Yeah, install it. I read it ISN successful. So and I read the PROM from ECU from BME.
Good, that's good.
So I can program correct key for first time.
He explained to me that coding a new key can happen two ways. You can either remove the ECU, like we did here, and read the information you need to and code the right key from the first attempt, or you can try to start the car and read the information that comes back to you through the code reader, and sometimes this information cannot be exact and it takes multiple attempts. He said in some cases it's up to like 10 attempts or 20 attempts, even up to 50 attempts it happened once. But it can be done that way as well, only you have to have a really good battery and connect it to a constant charge, and you can do it that way as well. But the fastest and the most efficient way is to remove the DME, read the information and code the key that needs to be coded. And so that's what we did, and here I'm installing back the ECU because he already read all the information he needed off of it.
Do you need help?
No, that's fine. I removed it a little bit further, so now I got this back in. Now I have to just put it back in there and get the wires connected.
What is one connector?
Oh, that's the first one there. Yeah, no, this one first here.
Okay, where is number 3? One big connector we lost.
We lost.
One big connector. One moment.
Let me do this real quick, because we need some light in there.
It's number 3. It's number 2. Where is number 1?
I think it's under the freaking thing.
Maybe. This number 2.
Yes. And then we need number 3.
Number 3.
We are both clearly professionals and we definitely know what we are doing. Oh, look how stupid we are.
Yeah.
way. I don't know. You know, like they could have done it in a better way. But they chose-
better way. It's try to start the engine 50 times.
Yeah. No, for them, why did they put the ECU under there? Why not put it here or
Yes,
here
yes.
somewhere? You know.
Yeah.
Like,
Swiss areas have some,
Yeah.
usually here.
but it's so stupid to put it under there. How was this? Was it easier or?
I think better way for 50 times try to start.
The battery dying on you all the time is that?
Yeah, if battery die, I connect. Usually I connect my power and my car
Oh.
through wire. So
For you, it's better to do it 50 times.
yeah, I do like 5-7 times and do pause several
okay.
times, several minutes. Because it's not good for starter.
Yes, I know,
50
I know.
times
It heats up.
start.
Yeah,
So.
if the temperature goes up and you can burn it.
This is correct. Clean UP. So. Engine malfunction.
Yeah, and that was showing up before as well for the. Oh! Yes! Yes.
I off because no.
No, let it run. Let it run. It's fine. It's gonna run rough a little bit because it's no fuel. You know, it's getting the fuel. It's gonna burn a little bit of stuff because it's freshly rebuilt. So.
Let me try smart system check.
Good. So that means this works as well, right? The ribbon.
Yes, it works. Good luck. And when just
you...
luck. So if you want, I can cut 2 key blanks or 1.
Yeah. Do you have a way to
Yes.
cut it for this?
Yes, for this.
Please.
Okay.
It has to be, right?
Yes.
Look at that. Clean cut. Yeah, that's... Okay, that works.
Poor baby.
Yeah, there's some codes, but...
It turned off.
Yeah, because I cleared the codes and it does that sometimes. With the check engine light on, but we're moving.
Oh yeah, buddy. We got some It feels so good. I'm amazed. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Gravel.
Wow. I feel like this is crazy. I like the X5. What do you think?
It's not too happy about revving because the engine malfunction is on,
Low power, yeah.
but
It sounds pretty freaking awesome, actually. I mean, I know it's kind of upset. What is that? What is
the
the
turbo
Really?
whistle, yeah.
Okay, well, it sounds so cool.
Well, it
I
won't sound
like
like
it.
this once I put the airbox in.
It won't? I like it.
I know, it's the blow off.
I like it, though.
Like a train.
Yeah. My goodness, I like it so much.
Now the engine malfunction is flickering at me.
Should we? Oh, she's having a hard time. Having a hard time.
Now it has misfire on 3 and 4. It had on 5 and 6, now it has on 3 and 4. So
All
those might be bad coils as well.
Okay. I don't mind. We can
Charge
replace
pressure
its sad little
control.
coils.
Why are you misfiring? After the engine rebuild, I didn't use new coils, and first I had issue with number 5 and 6, and I replaced those, and now I'm having issues with number 3 and 4. So I replaced those as well, and the engine was running a lot better. So it's time for another test drive. Feels like it's running good. Yes, there is a check engine light still. Let's take it for a drive. But you know what I noticed? I don't see the red situation with the suspension.
That is true.
Baby, it's not there anymore.
What? Are you serious? What the heck? It's been yelling about that nonsense since the beginning. Okay, well, put it in gear and see if it shows up.
It's actually fixing itself.
Well, that's quite nice.
I thought the suspension needed to be... But maybe because we
Drove it?
drove it, it actually recalibrated. And also because the car went to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
So, does that mean there is only one error I gotta fix?
It kind of looks that way.
Like the check engine light, which is the tank vent. Imagine fixing that, it would be a clear dash.
Wow.
So somehow, that isn't the problem anymore. I don't know, maybe it will show up. Or maybe it's just, it needed to be going to sleep a little bit.
Dude, it's beauty rest. It was just a little upset.
Yes. Yeah, I think it sounds alright, huh?
Yeah.
I cannot wait to wash it off and
Yeah.
clean it, because this is like, it's been on my mind for so long. I really want it clean. But it feels good. It feels like big, but not that big. I mean,
It doesn't feel that big. You'd think it would be.
and in
But-
corners it should feel a lot more SUV, but it's not. It feels more like a small car. Look, it doesn't even tilt that much. does
Yeah.
it?
No, I feel like it fixed itself. Whatever its upsetness was, it's not dealing with it now. Wow. It feels great.
The gearbox feels a little bit weird.
right?
Don't even feel like it's an SUV.
Oh my gosh, maybe we're gonna die.
Right? You don't feel
I
it.
know, I'm really
Look,
surprised.
look.
Good night. How the heck did we just go around that corner so fast? You should not be going
And it didn't squeal or
It
nothing.
did nothing.
Are you happy
I'm
with the X5?
so happy. It was my Valentine's Day present. It's the best Valentine's Day present ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
An X5
I love
for
this
you.
car. I love it. See how much freaking space there is back there? I know you can't see it, but there's a split tailgate back there. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
You can carry all the stuff you want with
Oh
this.
yeah.
And I'm gonna be able to tow some cars home.
Oh yeah.
And have some more projects.
Very important to be
This
able to
is
tow. That's huge
important.
for us. This is our workhorse.
Yes, we needed this. Baby, I feel so good in an SUV driving over this stuff.
Really? Okay, do a little Huey. That's such a pretty house.
Is it somebody's place?
Baby, turn around.
Really? There is no going further?
No! Turn here. Yeah, and do the... Sorry.
Do we go through their mud?
Yeah, we're in an SUV.
We're gonna mud the tracks a little bit. This is the pickup, baby.
Yes, it is. I'm so happy. Oh my gosh, I love it. You're like,
It slides on the mud a little bit.
well, because you were on the grass. Oh my
I
goodness.
like it.
Yeah?
I think I like off-roading
You do?
a little bit.
That's wonderful, because you're still going fast on this.
Well, it's a sporty SUV. isn't it?
Yes.
The engine is running a lot better now since I got better fuel for it, and the only codes I have is for the tank vent valve, which is this one right here. So I have to remove the intake and check the wiring on that because it says line disconnect. These are the codes that I'm getting, and it says line disconnection, so there's two valves and both of them don't get the electricity they need to operate. So I'm thinking it's either wiring related or the valves are stuck. So I saw a video online on people trying to check those valves by applying 12 volt electricity to the valve, and it should open and close. So I'm gonna try that and also measure the connector and see if they get enough voltage. So I've tested both valves and they were both clicking, so that means the valves are fine, and I started measuring the voltage and I wasn't getting enough voltage. Sometimes I would get nothing, sometimes I will only get like 3 volts, and it should be 12. And I dug further, I found the fuse, I replaced the fuse, and everything is clear and there's no more codes coming back. All green. And there is also no more check engine light. We need to take care of the plastics that were broken, and I got some replacements right here, and I'm gonna try to remove what's left of those and replace it with this, and then put all the plastics back together, and this way the engine bay is completely back together. And with that, the engine bay is complete. Now everything is back where it belongs and the engine is running, no more codes. Now we can focus on something else and just close the bonnet. Now we're gonna start doing some cosmetic work, and first thing that I want to handle is the headlights. They're very cloudy and it makes the whole car look a lot older than it is. So I'm gonna buff both headlights, and this way the car should look a lot better. I think you already know how this works. You have to use sandpaper from 300 grit all the way to 2000 grit, depending on how bad the headlight is. And then you have to use compound and buff the headlight to clear. And some people like to use protection on top, like a clear coat, but I just go with it, and in case this gets cloudy again, I will polish them again. I think it looks a lot better than before. It's not perfect, but it's definitely a lot better than before. Compare that to this headlight. Yeah, it's a big difference. So let's take care of this one as well. This might look like an easy process or a fast process, but I can assure you this is not fast. You have to pay attention not to scratch the body, and it takes quite a bit of time. I think it took me about 3 hours to do both headlights. This is what the headlights looked before, and this is what they look like now. In my opinion, it's a lot better. The lens is completely clear. You can see here the before and after. The body is in bad shape as well. It needs buffing a lot. If you look in the reflection, yeah, there's a lot of scratches, and especially on this fender. Now I'm polishing the front of the hood because I've got new grills and I want to install them. I've been waiting for so long, and to me it's a really important step. It makes the whole car look different. So I gotta polish this area a little bit before I install them. This looks so much better. I like the black grille. I know some of you don't, but to me this makes the car look a lot meaner. This time I'm using 3M compound paste. This should be the one that cuts the most, and I've used this before in the past and it was very good at cutting. This is so much better. It brings life back into this car. This color is actually a really nice deep blue, but with all of these scratches, it doesn't look like a blue at all. Just looks dull. But once it's polished like this, the color starts to come up. And I'm sure if we take the car in the sun after everything is polished, it's gonna look amazing with this blue on it. This is definitely time consuming. It took me about 3 days to finish polishing the exterior all around, but it definitely makes a huge difference, especially on a car like this that was scratched up and with this deep color. And look at the result here. It's definitely worth it. And of course I took my time and did the whole car, on the sides, on the roof. I pretty much did everything that I could touch, and I'm happy to say that this is good. Like, look at these results here. The polishing part is done. It looks a lot better than it did before. As you can tell with the clear headlights, the paint looks really good. Now you can see the color of the car. So I'm really happy about that. And in order to protect it for a little bit, I'm gonna use this, which is 3-in-1 wax, which contains some ceramic, as they say. I'm not sure how that works, but this should do a little bit of a protective layer on top. So I'm gonna get this on the car and then we can move to the next step. On the interior, I have to clean it all up, but before I do that, I want to cover this wooden trim with some suede, and I'm gonna wrap these as well. Plus, I want to add ambient lighting on one strip here on each door and also to the speakers. So let's do that before we clean the inside, because I have to remove the door cards and I might make a little bit of a mess while doing that. So I'd rather do that first and then clean the whole interior. This is what I'm thinking to cover the wood trim with, which is kind of like Alcantara suede material, and it's also self-adhesive, and it should be easy to wrap this. And then I'm gonna wrap the lower portion in this blue, just to give it a little bit of something inside that's not completely black, a little bit of color, and blue is the one I like. So I know some of you might think that this is not nice, but just wait until it's done, and I think you're gonna like it. And even if you don't, it's okay. And look at that. Even if I leave this as is with the crumb bit, and it's still a lot better than the wood trim. Here we have it. Nice, clean. No more wood trim and no more chrome trim. Now this is what we have as the end result, and I'm happy because there is a red stripe even when it's turned off, which I like, and then there's blue, and then there's the suede. So this bit here, it's kind of like it's not there anymore because it blends into the panel really nicely, and this is the trim bit now, which in my opinion looks a lot better than it did before. So I'm gonna do this to all of the doors, and as you see here, I ran the cable inside, and then it goes down, it goes like this under the speaker cover, and then up, and then that's the connection there. So this speaker should also have some red light in there. Now I'm gonna plug it in and see how this one looks. Check this out. I think that's perfect. It's perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. I mean, maybe a little bit brighter than I thought it would be, but I think it's gonna be just fine. Yeah, that was just temporary in place. I was able to do the dashboard and the two doors on that side. I still have to do the center console and I have to do these other two doors. And I have to say, I really love how this is turning out. It definitely takes the car from looking old to looking a little bit more modern, and I really like it. And this is what it looks like with the lights turned off. So the ambient lighting isn't illuminating, but it still looks good without it. So this is basically what you'll have during the daytime, and I think it looks alright. And this is what it looks like with the ambient lighting on. I think it's a good amount of light. I didn't put any on the dashboard because I think it would be distracting, since this is a little bit brighter than the ambient lighting I used in the 7 Series. And I have done the speakers and that light strip, and I think it's quite good. Even in the back looks good. Now the trim bits and the ambient lighting is done, so the next step is clean the interior really well. So we have to remove the carpets because they need to be cleaned. Look at this. It's very dirty. I'm using this because, first of all, it's very inexpensive. I think I paid about $30 for a pack of 6. So 2 of these is plenty for a car. So very inexpensive, and it does the job. It removes a lot of the stains and it removes smells as well. And I like to use it like all over the place where there is a little bit of a carpet. This would do really well. This is good because the leather gets moisturized and at the same time clean. And that's what I wanted to do. Most of all, I wanted to clean this car. Like, it felt dirty, and now I can do that because everything else is almost done. I feel happy for being able to clean it and start using it. I cannot wait for this to tow a car back home. And I think it's gonna do amazing towing another car. We'll see, but I think it will.